Hello and welcome to another episode of How to Be a Great Player. I am answering questions today, and the question that we have comes from Dakota Carson and a few others for that matter. Dakota asks, is it all right if my character betrays the party so that the party can kill my character and thus allow me to create a new character? It's a bit of a complicated question, but the simple answer is it all right for me to create a new character halfway through a campaign or an adventure? At least that's what I'm interpreting it as. Well, Dakota, my first answer to you would be, well, why have your character die off in the first place? Why even try and replace your character? Rather, and this is only if you're completely unhappy with perhaps the personality of the character, not necessarily the class or the race of the character, but even so, even if you are, why not try and change the character? Why not explore the story of how your character goes from being this angry, malevolent barbarian to a gentler, more considerate, civilized character? It's an amazing story, and if you watch the musical play My Fair Lady or the movie Pygmalion, it's exactly about the transformation of someone from a perceived position of negativity to a position of elevation and enlightenment. This is a very standard kind of narrative story where we go from rags to riches. In this case, we're changing personality from negative to positive. If it's class or if it's race, we have another alternative. Go to the GM and say, GM, I'm just not feeling this dwarf. I don't think I get it. And I'd like to change the dwarf from being a dwarf into being, let's say, a goblin or an elf. Well, the GM could very simply in your next adventure have your character transformed by a curse or a spell or a magical item or whatever the case might be from dwarf into elf. It gives you great role-playing opportunities because now you can decide whether your character is going to go on a quest to try and reclaim what they once were or is going to embrace this new change and go along with it, allowing you to effectively create a new character without deleting the character and starting again. The reason why I would advocate against changing or adapting your character rather than just abandoning them altogether and just starting a new one is because if you're into the campaign or if you're into the adventure, you've already started to create connections with the other characters. Your character, whether you like them or not, will have interacted and will have made some kind of mark. Take that away and put in a brand new character who doesn't have the same history with the evil Dark Lord and the same experiences of being trapped in the dungeon or narrowly escaping from the pyramid before it collapses or whatever the history is. They won't have that. And it's going to be a little bit strange. The other characters have got some kind of camaraderie, and although you might feel like you have it because you're with the same players, there is going to be some uneasiness for a while. However, if your character goes through a transformation process, if they perhaps die in combat and require a resurrection spell to bring them back, or if they fall and they suffer amnesia, for example, there are a million ways in which your character can change from one position to another. Whether it's quick or over time, it makes for better storytelling and leaves you with that wonderful history which will make your story even stronger, because then there's moments when you can look back and say, ha, remember when I was that pesky little alien who didn't believe in human rights and thought that everything should be logical? How I've changed thanks to my interactions with you, my fellow characters here on this starship. What a wonderful new life I have discovered. Or perhaps it's not a wonderful new life and the character is rebelling against that change. But it gives you the opportunity to roleplay a much more interesting character than just wiping the slate clean and starting again. If, however, you feel that it is important that your character betrays the party in some kind of special way or dies in some spectacular way so that you can create a new character, I have a few tips on how to do it so that it brings as much story as possible and creates as clean a start for you as humanly possible, or not if you're not human. If you're going to turn your character evil because you think it could be quite fun for the DM or GM to take control of your character and turn them into an evil NPC who recurs throughout the adventure or through the campaign, you need to start building towards it. This is not a one-shot cure. This is several sessions where the character slowly starts to change from being party-centric to being self-centric. We need to start building in a sense that this character is looking for an out or is looking for something else that the party can't offer. They don't need to be openly aggressive about it. As a matter of fact, the more secretive they are about it, the better, because only the sharper players will have their characters pick up on it and will start to sense something shifting. It's small actions that make the difference here. Simply not participating in a battle or letting a comrade fall and not rushing to their side is too obvious. This needs to be a subtle betrayal, but people do need to start picking up on it. So do something against the party, and then immediately do something for the party. Keep them off their guard, keep them unbalanced, but start to build in seeds of doubt and concern. Let others try and change your character and explore that option. Explore it and maybe you'll find a new angle that you didn't see before. And then when the betrayal happens, have a new character ready to go who's totally different in action, in character, in class, all those things. Make it a new start. I hope that helps answer your question, Dakota Carson, and keep those questions coming in. Until next time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and happy playing.